your very primary colors up here.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then neutrals down.
Yes, that's true. That's my vibe.
That's very, very much of a graphic designer of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Going to 20? Liz Fair here on WUDR for our annual Indie Holiday Show. Yeah, Liz Fair there. Really terrific music. Hi there, I'm Dr. J. I'm your host for your Tuesday afternoon alternative. We're doing our annual Indie Holiday Show. And I am joined in studio by Brenna Myers and Andy Ingram. I've got Brenna of the Florals. Oh, so sad, so sad.
Rest in peace, the Florals.
That's right, and Once a Pine.
Yes.
And Andy Ingram, the Pop Tech guy, XL427. There's probably a lot more to your resume than that.
Yeah, and it would take up too much time.
Well, no, we got to. We can stay here all night. No. Did I tell you there's no show after this? No, Brenna looked a little frightened there for a moment, like what? And you probably got places you need to be. Holiday shopping.
Oh yeah, gotta start.
So let's just jump into it. So what is it about the holidays? The songs seem more introspective. They seem more sensitive. Or would you disagree with that? What is it about holiday music?
I think it's bittersweet. It's sometimes both, but like I like Sufjan Stevens' album, his Christmas album, but it is very melancholy and sad sounding, but like overall, like I mean, he's playing Christmas songs, so it's very like this is nice, but this is also very sad. I'm very sad, so I think it's a little bit of both because the holidays kind of remind you of things you're missing, and it also reminds you of things you have, and everyone's just in a good mood and they tip well, so that's really nice.
What do you think, Andy?
Yeah, I was thinking about that today actually, in that it's kind of confusing in that it can be a very spiritual holiday, but like even for the followers of Jesus, like it's not really the right time of year,
right?
And like so, like it's not all that historical, so
right.
You're celebrating, but it's weird, and then everybody has, well, a lot of people just have a lot of family conflict at this time of year, so you're thrown in, you're expected to get together with your family, which you may or may not get along with.
Sure.
So yeah, it's a weird time, but then there's also this veneer of let's buy everything and give it away to everyone. So yeah, I guess that makes up the like the joyful veneer of it. So
it's like an odd contradiction, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, and I think the songs go along with that too. You have the introspective and spiritual, and then you have
the cheesy
rock around the Christmas tree and the foolishness.
Because they're fake, man. It's not real emotion.
Yeah.
No one's that happy.
Well, most of the trees are fake too. So
there we go.
We had a tree up yesterday, and then one of our 4 cats decided to relive his feral nature. Tree's not up anymore.
Can you blame the cat though?
It's a beautiful tree. Mrs. Dr. J worked hours on that tree. but of course, I think that the trees are like a huge temptation for a cat.
Right. No, I've had to get my cat out of a real tree 2 times. Once in the freezing rain, but never once has she gotten in our Christmas tree. So maybe because it is fake. She's like, I don't mess with that. So,
it's not worth it.
No.
She's a, yeah. No. Well, I think cats are choosy and thoughtful about the decisions they make anyway.
Right, yeah, thoughtful, that's the nice way to put it.
I'm trying to be tactful.
Right,
I love my 4 cats, even though I feel like I'm some kind of indentured servitude to them.
Oh yeah, yes. Cats.
I love how we went from a very serious question that you had about Christmas songs and like the nature of Christmas into cats.
Well, it's like everybody says that you haven't been on this show unless you talked about cats at least once.
Right.
Oh, all right.
I've heard
That's our inauguration. Because the other time I was on the show, I don't think we talked about cats.
Well,
or maybe we talked about the musical cats and not the animal.
That could be. Do you guys have a favorite holiday song?
Sister Winter by Sufjan.
Oh, that's
My
nice.
favorite one on that, because it is a good representation of that, like, sad to happy, because the end of it is so, like, grand. And
Yeah.
just, I feel like he's throwing glitter at the end of it. It's really wonderful. But in the beginning, it's just like, man, seasonal affective disorder, like, all over that. So, yeah, I love that song. It's so good.
That's a great
That's
song.
my favorite one, yeah.
What about you, Andy?
I actually have three favorites. The traditional one is O Come, O Come, Emmanuel.
Oh,
Just because I assume it's a minor key and a minor chord progression, but I really like minor songs like that.
Right.
They make me happy. It's that whole Morrissey, the Smiths effect. Like, I like sad songs. They make me really happy.
I have to raise my hand in testimonial to that idea.
Yeah.
There's something about melancholy wrapped up in a beautiful melody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's not sad music. There's sad lyrics, there's sad topics.
Right.
Well, of course, O Come, O Come, Emmanuel is kind of a somber progression. But that's my favorite traditional song. And then I love Merry Christmas, I Don't Want to Fight Tonight by the Ramones. Just because it's cynical, which that's definitely a portion of my personality. And then one of my favorite bands, actually in my top 4 of favorite bands, is Starfly 59.
Great band.
And on their Fashion Focus album, they did this song called A Holiday Song. And it's really not about the holidays at all, but it's the chorus is like, stay for the holidays, but it's just a really catchy song. So it gets thrown into kind of the Christmas playlist, even though it's not a Christmas song per se.
Right.
But yeah, those are my 3 favorites.
Nicely done. Those are 3 great songs. That's well done. Well, Brenna, I already asked Andy if his family had holiday traditions. So now I have to turn around and ask you, do you practice any holiday traditions every year?
On Christmas Eve, we get Chinese takeout, and it's about the best thing in the world. Other than that, we have our big family get-together, and that is when it really feels like Christmas, I think. We have a big white elephant, all the food and games and stuff like that, and then after that, and that was like earlier, or a few weeks ago, so after that, it's like, oh, Christmas is over now. It's kind of how it feels.
It
but
does seem like for
yeah.
adults it ends quickly.
Yeah, very, yeah.
It was so much more fun as a kid.
Right.
Yeah, well, you got weeks off.
Yeah.
So that's when Christmas is Monday, right?
Right.
Yes.
I have to work Tuesday.
Right, yeah. I have to work Christmas Eve.
That's a bummer.
I better get, good tips, I hope.
Have you
So,
done all your Christmas shopping, Brenna?
I have just a few more things, but for the most part, yes. And I'm happy with what
What'd you get me?
Big secret.
Oh, nicely done.
Big secret.
You're a pro at this, Brenna.
Thank you.
If you'd asked me this morning, I would have answered you with like a terror look in my eyes. Now I'm just mildly anxious because I only have a few more things to do.
Right.
So you're listening to your Tuesday afternoon alternative here on WUDR, Dayton, Ohio, student-run radio from the University of Dayton. A rock in the Gem City, music in all directions. Support your local music scene. You can listen to us 99.5, 98.1 FM, the old-fashioned way if you still prefer, or online, wudr.udayton.edu. I'm curious, I've got Andy Ingram here in the studio, I got Brenna Myers here in the studio. I'm just curious, did you ever get like a favorite toy that stayed with you, or a favorite gift when you were younger?
The first thing that came to my mind was one year I got a pinball machine, because it's specifically what I asked for, and I knew exactly where my parents hid it. So I actually got it out of the box before Christmas. I put it together. I played it for hours, and then I wrapped it for myself. And they got home like, what? Okay, all right, whatever. Like, but that was the first thing that came to mind. I don't have this pinball machine anymore. It wasn't special, but I just remember that taking it out and putting it together for myself before Christmas. So.
This may say a lot about me, but and I love my parents. My parents are great parents, but I remember what I didn't get more than what I got.
Oh, really?
I never got
That's the cynical
that
side Eddie was
that
talking
G.I.
about.
Joe aircraft carrier that back in the day it was over $100. So like if
Yeah.
I was my parents, I wouldn't have bought it for me either. But I don't know. I guess I remember getting a remote control car that was really cool. Other than that, video games.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm still missing that G.I. Joe aircraft carrier.
We're gonna have to start a GoFundMe site or something.
Oh, I don't care at this point.
What, are you sure? I mean, because I know. I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing. So let's jump into some music here. We gotta pay a couple of bills beforehand, but you know, I love this Belle and Sebastian song. Why don't we just jump into that? Have you guys heard this? Oh, Little Town of Bethlehem, done by Belle and Sebastian.
I've not heard their version. No.
This will be good for everybody. This is your Tuesday afternoon alternative. This is Belle and Sebastian with Oh, Little Town of Bethlehem. Levels look good.
I'm sorry if my answers are horrible.
No. Hey, but there. As long as you don't swear, there are no wrong answers.
I haven't thought about the aircraft carrier in
You were like
30 years. But that's what I'm talking about.
And I hope I didn't sound like an ass there.
No, that's
Well, I'm
my
not so
job.
sure. No. You know how you feel. I don't get the right to tell you how you feel.
I like that. Very nice.
It's almost like the whole thing starts like they're in a jazz club or something. I'm a sucker for weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
But then do they kick in the twee here soon?
It builds.
Can I copyright that kick in the twee?
Yeah, you can.
I'm gonna take that
I like
to
it.
the UK.
Very nice.
Well, why wouldn't you?
Yeah. I think we should put that.
Okay.
You do not have to play a holiday song. You
Okay,
want to
cool.
play a floral song, I'm totally golden.
Right.
Not that you need my permission anyway.
Let's couch the hit. See, I always thought all I want was the hit.
Well, I'm just
Pep
thinking
talks-
of like if your most recent record.
Pep talks to me.
What in couch? Like
Well, should I do something with Once Upon as well? You know. But I only have like demos available, so that.
in couch, like I love to talk about friendship.
Yeah.
So for me, like that's as much Christmas
Okay.
as anything. So
That's good.
that's why I said.
Okay, I'm gonna steal that.
Alright.
This
Tom's
song's
listening,
about
he says
friendship.
hi. So wishes he could be here.
Alright, let's get a pick.
He says we should talk about the Smiths and
Go back to
Morrissey.
that.
And he's sad about the loss of our Christmas tree, and he says you guys sound good.
Good.
So forgive me as I'm just going to take a whole bunch of shots. And I'm probably, with the lighting in here, going to end up having to use some of these. I have a bigger external flash, but I don't want to blind you forever.
Well, thanks for having us on.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
you're most welcome. Oh, nicely done. Oh, that
That
nice
was it?
smur.
That was
Yeah,
it?
that's the money shot right there.
That's the money shot.
That'll go on the
Good.
webpage.
I need a money shot. Alright, I need to get a picture for. Alright, so get everyone. Wonderful.
If you do any tagging, and hashtag YTAA.
YTAA.
I probably should not.
So what was it again?
Oh, hashtag YTAA.
YTAA.
Your Tuesday afternoon alternative. Just the first letter of that.
That's the one.
So, Art, what is the story with the reveal?
It used to be Radio Pure Gently. It was like Larry Lang stuff. Couple people in Ireland and England. Larry here in Dayton. Gretchen has done a show for quite a while, and there were problems, and I thought that I was going to actually be relieved of the opportunity to do this, because there was a lot of conversation about what did the university want to do with the station, which is perfectly in their rights.
Right.
And do we want to let faculty and staff continue to do shows and things like that? I mean, it's a fair question, like what should the purpose of the of the station be, not just a show. And so I thought, oh, I really should not have all my eggs in one basket. And I also thought, well, the beauty of doing an online show is that you can edit.
Right.
I can take out the ums and the ahs, and I can minimize the sibilant S and things like that. So the ability to control how I sound is so much better. And I don't use high-tech software. I'm just using Audacity, which is mostly just good for hard stops, you know, easy edits.
Yeah.
But I've become quite excited about it because another 3-hour show. We just do it on Wednesday. We say Wednesdays are the new Tuesdays. I know it's dumb. Don't take it from me though. But 2 to 5, and then it usually goes into Gretchen's show after my show. And I wanted to have another vehicle to see, and just to try something different and see how it goes. It's gone really well. I guess fairly similar listenership, anywhere from a few hundred people to maybe a few thousand people. We did an all Dayton show that they said that at one point they know for a fact, like some weird number, 2,011 people were listening, and I'm like, that seems awfully precise. But I mean, the other beauty of the internet is, of course, at least at present, it's unregulated. So you could put in the occasional S or F, but you know, yeah, I'm a huge Afghan Wigs fan, but am I going to play Be Sweet by the Afghan Wigs, where he makes lots of unpleasant references to things and uses the word MF, or phrase MF several times? No. Because I want to be more family friendly than that. I have played a couple of songs with the S word, but it's not like where they're screaming. But, so there's that option too. Ink for a Star, probably also Great Lakes swimmers. At least I could look. Oh, no. A couple of these songs definitely do, in my opinion. Good ear.
Which he did a Christmas EP.
Oh, yeah. I think I've played some stuff from that. What, a couple years ago?
Yeah. Yeah, him and Richard Swift.
Yeah. Who used to be, or is he still in that band? Richard Swift used to be in...
He started in Starflyer.
Starflyer.
Now he's in Black Keys and the Shins.
The Shins, that's the one I was thinking of.
Just a super producer.
Yeah, I've played some of his stuff from time to time. I came really close to dropping an S-bomb on, I really love the song, and I listened to it and I fell asleep while I was previewing the song.
Yeah.
It was like 3 a.m. And then, you know, Tracy's like, you checked this, right? Yeah, I listened to it last night. She's like, before bed? Well, yeah. She's like, you might want to listen to it again.
How much time do you spend previewing music?
Let's see, for a 3-hour show, it's not unusual to spend 4 or 5 hours listening to music. I'll also try to curate, you know, more newer stuff, of course a lot of local stuff. I probably trust people more than I should, because it's $5,000 per swear, or per profanity. And I'm pretty sure UD's not going to indemnify me.
How do they know?
Well, and I'm sure things have gone out, and we know students have done it, but nobody complained. So the situation's only a problem if somebody complains to the FCC, and the FCC thinks that there's cause to believe that this happened and that it's in violation of policy. They call it blatant violation of practice, and then they can decide to waive the fine, or they can decide to fine you. They can do it on the very first one. If you need to catch a phone call, don't worry on my account.
Oh, I should answer on the air.
Yes, you should.
I always tell my students, if their cell phones ring in class, hand me your phone and I'll answer it for you. Arts Mortuary, you stab them, we slap them. One student, in like 30 years of teaching, only one student has ever taken me up on something that dumb. But then it was like it was like a parent. They're like, "What?"
I saw an April Fool's one they did because the students.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen that, Andy? The professor said
I felt for him.
if you phone rings, you have to answer it and put it on speakerphone. So she answers the phone and it's like Planned Parenthood. And they're like, you got your results, like you're all good, like came back positive, like blah blah blah.
Pregnant.
And then you're pregnant, and then the teacher was like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. And she was like, it's okay, like I already figured out a name. It's April Fools. And he was like, oh my god. Like he's like, it got him really good. I'm like, that's a good April Fool's.
Yeah. I remember some folks that sent it to me, and I'm like,
Yeah.
so now I never just take or say you got to
No,
punch
yeah,
phone.
it's just
I would be like, if you want me to answer the phone, that's what I'm gonna do.
Right, right.
And of course, someone's phone rings. I'm always like, you want me to answer?
Right.
But I just think, first of all, it's not my property, and we all get annoyed when
Right.
faculty would do that. But I also get a lot of students who will record lectures on their phone.
Right.
Or a lot of the international students will use, a translation device or a
Right.
thesaurus or something. And you never know who's dealing with like a disability or,
Oh, yeah,
or
right.
they need some kind of tool
Right.
to assist them. But yeah, I know people who have the same kind of policies that that professor had. And I'm just like, oh.
That could be, yeah, that could.
Because now you're internet famous.
Right. Example of how that could go.
I did laugh though,
Yeah,
poor
we'll
guy.
see. They got him.
And what good?
Yeah.
Kind of Ramonesy. Do you know Ethan?
Who's this?
Ethan Luck? I forget where he's from. Not New York. He's actually from. Well, he's from the Northeast. I can leave it like that. Bunch of musicians we found out there. Like I play Deborah Debbie stuff a lot. She's more bluesy though, but she's got a real nice pop sensibility. Should we come in? Sure. You're listening to your Tuesday afternoon alternative here on WUDR. How you doing, everybody? Dr. J here for your Tuesday afternoon alternative, and we are playing holiday music. It is the annual Indie Holiday. I don't know if that's the best title to give it, but that's the one that we have. So Ethan Luck, Blue Christmas. What's that?
Tradition now.
There you go. It is. Well, you do it more than twice, right?
Yeah, right.
It's a tradition if you do it more than twice. Ethan Luck, his rockin' rendition of Blue Christmas, Ink for a Star. Oh, I love that song. Great Lakes Swimmers from their recent EP. They don't make them like that anymore, which then says EP. Do you need that in the title? Should EP be in the title for an EP?
I don't think so. But some I know some music distributors make you put that in the title.
Okay.
Really?
It's the man then.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So in some cases you may not have a choice.
I like the discovery of buying a full album and realizing there's only 4 songs on it.
I paid for
At the
that.
full album price. You don't feel cheated at all. You also heard "Oh Little Town of Bethlehem" from Belle and Sebastian. They have a Christmas album. Actually, I think they've got an EP and an album, and they've been on many compilations. I just love that reworking of that traditional song. So do you guys listen to traditional holiday music when you're celebrating the holidays?
There are a few albums that I have that I'll listen to. Yeah, like I don't listen to Christmas music like after Thanksgiving, like for the entire month. I'll put them on a couple times in December, but soon, not really.
I'm gonna say same, because when you're holiday shopping, it tends to be on every radio station and store, and it just drives me nuts because it's the same ones over and over.
Right.
So this is why I like this, so we get to listen to all the other ones that you don't get to hear. So that's fun.
Well, and it is actually cool finding obscure Christmas albums, like Sufjan's Christmas albums.
Yeah.
Like in the 90s and the early 2000s, there are a bunch of labels that would, like independent labels, unheard of labels that would put out Christmas compilations. I still have those albums, and those are what I listen to. So just kind of bizarre covers of the Grinch, You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch, by Sixpence None the Richer. Like how many people have heard that?
That's a great version too.
Yeah. So there's some cool niche, obscure Christmas albums out there.
Well, let me ask another question, because this is one where it is a trick question. So I feel I feel like I should throw that out there. Should it be a white Christmas? I.e., should we have snow on the ground? Is
Absolutely not.
Not?
I totaled my car a few years ago on ice, so anytime the road looks even wet, it terrifies me. So I hate driving in it.
Yeah, I think it depends on if you're traveling. Like
Yeah.
if you're,
Oh my goodness.
if you're just in your house, sure, it can be all the snow that you want, as long as it melts by the following day.
Yes, I agree with that.
Oh, I think I can get behind that.
I like that one. Yes.
I grew up in Minnesota, so I don't think I need to experience snowfall in my life. I think I took care of that, especially in the 1970s. Jumping off my grandfather's barn. How did I not impale myself? I mean, seriously.
You jumped off?
I jumped off the roof of the barn into big snow drifts because the way the grove worked around my grandparents' farm is that the snow would build right up like 20 feet high up to the roof of the barn. And of course, as a kid, you're not thinking about like,
What's
oh, I might get hurt.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't think I would still. This looks fun.
It was a blast. No one got hurt, but now, of course, I look back and think, oh my gosh, what was I doing?
Right.
Did you lose anyone? From that snow?
You know,
I'm just imagining
couple
like
of
a
cousins.
huge snowdrift.
Right.
A couple of cousins, did fall through. You get a soft spot. You realize that they're like 4 or 5 feet down. But then, of course, in Minnesota, it gets cold, so the snow hardens pretty quickly. But still, you think about that. I have to say, I don't need snow.
That's fair.
And I especially like your comment, Andy. If I'm driving, I really don't want it.
Yeah. For a long while, I've worked outside, so I'm over snow. Because if we get snow, it usually means I have to work in snow. So
Yeah.
whatever.
No fun.
So does that mean we're all Grinches then, because we don't want snowfall? Are we going to get hate letters, hate mail?
Well,
how
we're not
dare
stealing
you?
anyone's gifts,
It's a gift
but we'll be
of
trying.
happiness.
You're listening to our annual Indie Holiday program. Brenna Myers of Once Upon and the Florals, which I loved. And I'm sure I'm going to love Once Upon
Right,
too.
right. No, yeah.
I've heard some things. I've heard some things. I've heard some things. And of course, Indy Ingram of Pop Tech XL427. Oh, yeah. Many terrific bands. I'm just curious. Since I asked you both to work up holiday songs, did you find that you were using different musical muscles in thinking about holiday music as opposed to regular or non-holiday music?
I a few years ago got a guitar for Christmas that I really loved. It was the Jazzmaster, but the neck on it is really wide. And the first day I got it, so on Christmas obviously, I tried to learn to play Silent Night, and I worked it out pretty well. But I tried to do it again today on my acoustic guitar, and it was a lot different with the fretboard and stuff. So yeah, it was super hard because I haven't played that in so long, probably in 2 years. So I was trying to put that together for today, but I don't think anyone wants to hear me stumbling across those chords. But definitely, as far as that song goes, yes.
Do you think holiday music is just difficult to play?
I think the more traditional ones.
The
if
music theory is
if you
way
really
more
want to, yeah.
complicated
Yeah, the hits, nah.
Yeah, and I didn't even try. I pulled out a song that I recorded for a Christmas compilation that my friend's coffee house up near Kent State released in 2008. So it was a very small release, so very few people have heard it. So it's a new song to most people, but it's one I didn't have to relearn.
Well, that's good too. I've always been curious. I know the traditional holiday songs have very different arrangements and much more complexity and things like that. Newer holiday music just seems to be 2/4, and you sing about the holidays.
Right.
So you think there's some truth to that perspective?
Yeah, well, and I think we're in an age of music that is still dominated by punk rock, and punk rock would not fool around with a song structure like "O Holy Night" or whatever it is.
Right.
So I think that still has a lot of, and a lot of what you play on the show too is very punk rock influence. So
I think there's some truth to that. I'll take the guilty plea on that. I think there's because it's funny, I come to punk rock through heavy metal, and so it's like a heavy metal punk rock gaze or view that I then found indie. In some ways completely by accident. A friend in high school was like, have you heard this band Ram?
Right.
And long before they became a major force, I'm listening to Radio Free Europe in my room going, what is this? This is awesome, I love this.
I got the joke a little late.
Rem?
Sorry.
You've heard of them, Andy, you've heard of them.
Yeah, when you first said that, I was thinking like ride or hum. Oh, they must be an obscure British band. Whoops, alright, I know already. I get it now.
Which does still kind of work, really. Especially for those first two. No. You're listening to your Tuesday afternoon alternative. It's our annual indie holiday soiree here. I've got Brenna Myers from Once Upon. I've got Andy Ingram from many projects. He runs the Pop Tech label. If you are looking for some cool music to give as a gift, I highly recommend that you check out all the usual sources. We talked about Bandcamp, we talked about iTunes. Of course, the Pop Tech website also has the music as well. So feel free. We're going to open up the phone lines if people want to reach out to us, but maybe you want to tweet us, DRJYTAA at twitter.com, and you'll find us, and you can request and contact us that way, or through Facebook, yourTuesdayAfternoonAlternative.com. I'm just curious, is there an interesting holiday story you'd like to share with us? I'm going to talk to Brenna and Andy about playing live. That could happen. But first, this is a really cool cover. I don't know, we've been playing quite a few things. I don't know if everybody knows Great Lakes Swimmers. I know, Andy, you and I were talking off air about them a little bit. But they've got this new EP that I think is really interesting. These arrangements are really cool. This is Bring a Torch, Jeanette by Great Lake Swimmers. So is anybody up for doing something?
Yeah.
No, please don't let me talk you into something you're uncomfortable with.
No. I played couch enough.
Are you sure?
No,
I don't think you have.
That's what the people want.
I think you should play it more.
It's a fun song.
Is that your way?
Nope. How much do I have? Or how much time do I have?
Oh, and you can take as much time as you need, my friend. We will not rush you. Now, Brenna may rush you. I will not. Yeah, see what I tell you.
To get, probably warmed up a little bit.
Turn my phone off. So I gotta let my phone warm up too.
Gee, I wonder how many songs are in here for Merry Christmas. Answer appears to be a lot.
A lot.
Thank you guys so much for doing this.
Absolutely.
I can only imagine all the other important things that you need to do.
It got me out of work.
Oh, well then.
Yeah, I'm so glad this worked out. I'm trying to find what this.
Oh. Is anyone get mad at me if I play some Emerson, Lake and Palmer and Kinks?
No.
I wasn't planning on it, but I see they're in the auto playlist, and I love that I Believe in Father Chris. Oh, that's a real downer, though. Oh, Lord, that's a downer. We'll have to. You can't have two really down songs in a row. The audience will be like, "We're so sad."
My whole set list.
Well, I have honestly noticed that the music may be upbeat, but I'm listening to the lyrics. I'm like, well, that's not happy at all.
Right? Yeah. So I need to. I'll have to grab you a Once Upon a demo I have.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
Yes, I'll grab you.
Is it okay to play?
Yeah, totally. The only song, 22. I say it's been a hell of a year. So
I can do that.
I don't
That
know
I
if
can do.
That is the extent of my.
And bless you for that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
I mean, like you could say it was damn hard or hell of a year, but
Right.
you couldn't damn someone to Hades.
Right.
Which why would you want to do that anyway? I'm not a theologian, but it sounds like a bad place.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a nice thing to say. Cool. Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, I think you'll really like the songs on there.
Yeah, it's funny. Like you were Randy, somebody sent me the floral songs. It was on, what was it, The Florals of Dead?
Yeah.
Go Home Now Kids or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I love these, and they're breaking up. Son of a...
Right? And it only is because Alex got married, and they live in Cincinnati now, so it was just too much to...
Damn him for
You
wanting
know,
to live a life.
I know.
But not to.
Yes, exactly, yeah.